Tell jokes. So again, what you're going to do, tell everybody about yourself, why you're running, and who you are. Then we're going to have questions that are going to be asked. And we're probably just going to go down the line like this, down this way, and back this way, and this way. And everybody's going to get to answer the same questions. 90 seconds for each of those questions. And then the dreaded, or as I like to call them, the wonderful lightning round questions. So we'll do 12 of those. Those are yes, no, or pass questions. And you're going to get to see how fast you can pass the mic. I'm going to try to get these people out of here and give them about 30 minutes of their time back. All right. So, 2 minutes. We'll start with you. And you may introduce yourself and give your opening statement.
Great. Hi, everybody. My name is Serena Ashcroft. Excuse me. I'm really glad to be here tonight. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here, to be engaged. We need more parents, more families, more community members to be engaged in what's going on in our community. I'm a mom of 3 children. My son graduated from McKinney Boyd High School in 2021. He's pursuing electrical engineering. My 2 daughters are involved in the fine arts programs, the wonderful fine arts programs, the choir, the orchestra. We're a big musical family. I sing in the Dallas Millennium Choir. I teach piano and private music teacher. I've been very involved since we moved to Texas 10 years ago. We knew that Texas valued faith, freedom, family, and education. And I've been involved in the community, speaking and attending at board meetings for over 7 years. My first meeting I remember attending when our superintendent and board was being attacked for praying at convocation. And I was there speaking up and defending them. I was a PTO president at the middle school. I was a substitute teacher in the district. I love serving. I have a heart to serve. A room mom. When prom was canceled in 2021, we organized parents for 1,000 students across our district to hold prom when the district canceled prom. And we donated that money to Project Graduation. I know how to organize. I know how to lead. I've been a realtor for 20 years, negotiating contracts. In the fall of 2020, when COVID shut down and we lost 1,000 students, I organized a homeschool academy that grew to 100 students with a classical, traditional education, fine arts program, and we hired over 12 teachers. I'm a solutions-oriented person to educate all students in our community, whether they're public school or homeschool. We must support all the students and bring families together for our students and the rising generation. I'm concerned because our enrollment is declining in our district. Families are leaving, while Prosper Families Academy and Forum Deo have waiting lists. We can do better, and we will.
Thank you.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Jim Westerheide. I'm running the place 6 at Collin ISD. I want to tell you a little bit about me and some of the things that I think we need to work on and improve. I've been here for 25 years. My wife and I came back from Indonesia with my son, 11 suitcases, and a dog. And we set off with ARCO International to build a better future for that company, where I became the recruiting manager for technical personnel. And volunteering, when we were in Alaska, I was a member of both Rotary clubs and was the chairman of the United Way campaign, where we set a record in fundraising. Coming back to the U.S., I was a member of the Sunrise Rotary Club, where I was twice the chairman of Camp Ryla. When we first got back here, I went down to Sabinas, Mexico with my church group and helped rebuild an orphanage and help those kids have a better life. And I drew the short straw as a mechanical engineer. Unfortunately, I got to work on the sewer system. But they needed that, and they needed us. I've been a member of the PTA. I've taken these kids down to the downtown museum. I've judged their science fairs. We need to have more of those. I'm an engineer and a manager and senior manager, building teams and reconciling conflict in teams. And I believe those skills are very valuable for this school district and this school board. I'm passionate about making this board the envy of everybody and this district the envy of everybody. Jim Westerheide, place 6, McKinney ISD.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Odell. Can y'all hear me? And I'm seeking re-election for place place 6, which means anyone in McKinney, I'm in the at-large position, can vote.
Steady.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Stephanie Odell, place 6, at-large. I've served on the school board for the last 8 years. If you'd like to know more about me, visit my website, StephanieOdellMISD.com. And I would like to talk about balance and priorities. Balance, we have a balanced budget in McKinney ISD. We have decreased your tax rate by 21% in the last 8 years. We try to pay our teachers as much as possible, and the majority of our budget goes to our teachers. If the state and Boston would help, that would be great. We also have great teacher morale because for the last 5 years we've been voted the best place to work. That means before, during, and after COVID, we were voted the best place to work. We can always improve teacher morale, but our teachers know they are supported and respected, and I will make sure we keep it that way. Priorities. Safety is always a #1 priority. We have increased our school resource officers by-fold. We've added more security cameras. We recently got a couple of grants, and we will spend that money on safety, and we can't tell you how we spend that money because that's a safety issue. Of course, academics is always something we are striving to achieve. We partner with Collin College, and we have 27 certifications that high school students can receive when they graduate. They can get a job right when they graduate as a certified nursing assistant, an EMT, a student pilot, or a fitness trainer. Those are some of the options. All of our high schools have an A rating by the TEA. We have a 98% graduation rate. That means 98% of every freshman that walks through that door graduates. We want it to be 100%, but following COVID, I think 98% is pretty good. The state average is 90%. And McKinney has 33% of students on free and reduced lunch. Frisco and Allen have less than that, a lot less. We have twice as many students on free and reduced lunch than Frisco and Allen have. And we are doing great things in McKinney. A vote for me is a vote for proven leadership.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rachel Elliott. I'm running for McKinney ISD, place 5. My opponent's not here. She decided to social media everyone about a few hours ago saying that she was not able to make it, but I wish she was. But I want to talk to you a little bit about me. I'm a former vice president of my daughter's PTA, and then also last year I was able to serve with McKinney ISD PTA Council, which governs the entire district of PTAs in McKinney ISD. This year I'm on JDW's social education for the entire Collin County committee, and so I've really enjoyed working with other committees and councils, and I'm looking to take that experience into the school board. I want to talk a little bit about my platform. First off, safety first. One of the things that kind of really concerned me is when my daughter's life was threatened in the cafeteria here in McKinney ISD. It was a very troubling time and very serious situation. But what I want to do is be able to create sound policy to take care of our kids and give a peace of mind to our parents, because they deserve that. Also, I want to take care of parents' voices. Right now, there's an issue that they're being silenced, and parents have the rights to be able to have a voice within their child's education. I want to restore academic excellence. Right now, McKinney ISD is not an A-rated school district, we're a B. We've got 4 elementary schools that are C-rated. Elementary school, that's foundational. We need to take care of that. We also want to take care of financial transparency. One of the things that I like to look at is the agenda, right? We get about 2.5 pages, but Allen ISD gets about 275 pages when the agenda becomes public. I want to change that. I want to bring transparency. My name is Rachel Elliott. I'm running for McKinney ISD, place 5.
Good evening, my name is Brittany Hendrickson, and I'm running for McKinney ISD, place 5. Thank you for putting this on tonight. Thank you all for being here. A little bit about myself. I am actually from Southern Louisiana. I grew up and I was raised in Southern Louisiana in a large family. I have a large family of many sisters and one brother. We were raised to make sure that we had our faith instilled in us. We had perseverance, and we made sure that, we always told the truth. So those are my pillars that I stand for. I'll always be honest and tell the truth. I have a little girl that's in 2nd grade here in McKinney ISD, and she started kindergarten at the height of COVID. So we had 3 weeks of being on a laptop which was really fun to deal with 7 Zoom calls a day with 17 5-year-olds. God bless the teachers because they put up with so much and they deserve so much credit. My main concern right now is safety. It's not only, like Uvalde, people coming in. We've got to worry about what's happening in the classroom, in the hallways, in the lunchroom. We have a bullying problem. I've had many parents contact me, not just parents, but I've had students actually contact me and tell me that nothing is being done. These students they're the victim. The district is doing nothing. They basically are telling them, I'm sorry, boys will be boys, it's okay, that kind of thing. We have kids that are suicidal. We've got problems. We have got to take care of the mental health of our children and the safety of our kids. So thank you so much. I'm Brittany Hendrickson, running for Place 5.
Hi, I'm Amy Dickel, and I'm running for McKinney ISD Place 4, as is Ms. Hendricks. She spoke a couple of times. I too am from Louisiana, so I feel like that's very interesting. I've been on the board now for 12 years. I was a teacher for 22 years, the last 10 of which are here in McKinney. When I was doing my exit interview for leaving teaching, I had said at that point, I'd like to get on the board at some point. I did find things were coming into the classroom that I thought were kind of a waste of money, and there were mandates, and I just said, what's this? And I was told it's board approved. So that was one of the reasons I decided to run for the board. A few years after our kids went to college, I was in my Bible study, and the ladies were like, hey, they weren't happy with the board member, and they said, you said you were going to do this, why don't you do it? And I've loved every moment of it since then. I do disagree with several of the things that have been said here. First of all, we are not shutting out any parents. That's a lot of rhetoric about that. In our meetings, we have always have people come to our meetings. In McKinney ISD, we have about 40,000 parents. Many of those parents are very, very involved, and we do have an open door policy. I'd like you to know, in the past 2 years, we have had one McKinney ISD parent removed from the building because he had a gun with him, and that's not allowed. He is still not allowed back on campus. We have had one person who was not removed by the police, but was cited for inappropriate language. He is allowed to go on campus. He just needs to let the principal know before. And we have had one person who is suing me and our head of security and 3 of our SRO officers, and that is who is running against me, Brittany Hendrickson.
Okay, we'll start down there again. Ms. Engel, you'll go first on this question. I know it's hard to just pick one.
Okay.
But what is the greatest need facing the MISD schools, and how would you address it in the next term?
I would say continuing to enhance our safety. We have, since I've been on the board, grown our SRO force 5 times what it was when I got on the board, but I would like to see that as a program we can continue to grow. In addition to SRO officers for safety, I think it's time we need to look at social workers in the schools. Our counselors are just not equipped to handle the mental health issues that our students have had coming out of COVID, and just living in this atmosphere of cyberbullying and everything. I think we really need to consider having these mental health professionals on our campuses.
I can say this over 90 seconds, and you were well within it. Thank you. Ms. Hendrickson, same question. And by the way, if it's taking a while to get down here, if you ever need a question repeated, just tell me, okay?
Will you repeat it one more?
I will. Hard to pick just one, but what is the greatest need facing MISD schools, and how would you address it in the next term?
So, besides the bullying, because I really feel like that's a pressing issue for our students' mental health right now, I do believe our teacher retention is a problem. We are losing teachers left and right. Since January, we've lost 29 teachers. January to March, we've lost 29 teachers. That's not a good thing. That's a problem. What we need to do is we really need to focus on our pain points. We have to talk to these teachers. They have to be able to have open communication with us and not feel like they're going to be reprimanded or have any repercussions, because some of the teachers are fearful. My opponent will definitely tell you that that's not happening. It is happening. I have parents coming to me. I have teachers coming to me. This is a problem. We have got to address this. Teachers are our foundation. If we do not have teachers, we cannot educate children. It's a very simple, common sense thing. They're the front lines for education. We really have to focus on having good educators and retaining them. Another thing we could do is we can look at, their benefits. The benefits are, from what I'm hearing, are not that great. We could definitely look at the benefits and go there and to maybe have more teachers come into the district. Thank you.
Ms. Spear did not show up. Ms. Elliott, same question, 90 seconds.
Thank you so much. So I want to talk to you a little bit about our kids, right? Because that's what we're here for. We're here for our kids. That's what I'm here for. My name is Rachel Elliott. I'm running for McKinney ISD Place 5. And I want to let you know, each year, my daughter comes home with one of the textbooks that you all buy, because you guys are taxpayers. And look at it, empty. Our kids are being taught with apps that sometimes, as parents, can't have access to, because after 3:07, when the kids are dismissed, the apps are shut down. I don't want to shut parents out. I want parents to be partners with our education. I want parents to be able to see transparency of our curriculums that we're using to teach our kids. I want us to stop wasting money, because it's part of us that we have to be a steward of this money. And we need to take care of it, because we need to take care of our kids. Taking care of our kids also means we need to work smarter when it comes to providing a great education, an excellent education. That's an A-rated education, because all the other school districts that are surrounding McKinney ISD, they're A-rated. McKinney ISD is not. I'm upset about that. I have a little one who's in an elementary. Very formative years. I want better. I know we can get there. My name is Rachel Elliott,
2 minutes.
McKinney ISD, Place 5.
Most important thing in our district is student safety, which has been addressed, and we will continue to work on student safety every day and review our policies, update our policies. We're constantly checking our doors inside and out. To me, another of the most important things is teacher respect, teacher support. Our teachers need to feel valued so they will stay. Again, we were voted best place to work the last 5 years in a row. We actually have the highest teacher retention rate in Collin County. And I have stats to prove that. They're not with me, but I do have that. And I know our campus, when I go to campuses, elementary school campuses, they're like family. The teachers, the principals, they are like family. Ask your teacher friends how they feel. And yes, they'll have some complaints, but they love McKinney ISD. We have many teachers who graduated from our 3 high schools. That is a great compliment. They want to come back to McKinney. They went to school here, and they know this is a good district, and then come back. So we want to support our teachers, show them respect, stop putting out misinformation. This book that goes home is for her to work on at home. That's what that book is for.
So to me, the number one issue is transparency and community involvement. I learned a long time ago, as a still learning and practicing principle-centered servant leader, that you must listen to people and you must involve them. Transparency. Where is our monthly safety report? Transparency. Why isn't the School of North construction managers funding approved? Why was the architect put in place January 2021, the funding not approved until January 2022? That is not good fiscal management. That is not good transparency. The curriculum. Why don't we have a curriculum and planning review committee where you can partner with us and take a look at the things that the kids are being taught? Why don't we have transparency? Why do we only have 1 minute to speak as a member of the community in a school board meeting? When I first started speaking, I got 3 minutes. Now it's 1. Last meeting, there were 20 speakers. That should have been a minute and a half. It was a minute. Transparency and involvement in you. You manage from here, but you lead from here. Jim Westerhout, place 6, McKinney ISD School.
Ashcroft, number 1 issue, how are you going to address it?
Let me make sure that's on. Oh, now it's, there we go. Okay, our biggest issue is families and teachers are leaving our district. We've lost students year over year over year. We're on a constant decline year over year, and teachers are leaving. A good friend of mine, music teacher, left to homeschool her children. Another parent has 2 long-term subs for chemistry and English for her high school son. I talk to teachers all the time. Like I said, I hired 12 for my little homeschool group that serves about 100 students. I've talked to dozens of teachers. I know why they're leaving, why they're frustrated. I met a teacher that's out block walking who's looking for a job at a grocery store in our district, and she's a principal because the dyslexia program is now part of SPED. The SPED program is part of dyslexia, and they have no input in any of this say. I asked, where do you go? We don't have anywhere to go, okay? So for a year or so, behavior issues are increasing on campus. The teachers are not supported. The kids come back to class constantly. And our families, we lost a lot of trust with families the last couple of years. I'll tell you that I'm a doer, not a watcher. I'm a solutions person. For a year, myself and another parent spoke about the campus educational improvement committees that were not happening on our campus. That is where parents, teachers, and staff and community come together for every campus and at the district level. They come together, solutions, oversee curriculum, budget, safety, and staff for every campus. It took us a year of speaking at board meetings to do this. Now they're happening at campus and district level.
But you get to start the next question. So here it is. What is your position on the ongoing controversy regarding sexually explicit materials in class and in libraries at MISD, and what should be done about it? You can sit if you like. You don't have to sit.
I'll just stand because it's where you sit. This is one of the biggest issues. When I go around, talk to families, meet people at the door, of course, the messaging is, do you want to ban books? That's one of the top issues. Do I want to ban books? And my answer is no, I don't want to ban books. I am for high quality literature in our schools. The school board is the ultimate responsibility for the literature, the curriculum, the books we purchase, textbooks, the libraries. We set the budget, we purchase them. We need to have a process for how we purchase them. We need to know what we're purchasing. It feels like a lot of this was happening and we don't know. We don't know. I am for also simplifying the process that's in place. It needs to be better right now. I am not for making demands that things have to be done right now, because all of these things has caused nothing but division in our community. I'm for solutions. I helped a parent follow the process, and it took her 5 months. It needs to be shorter, but she followed the process and she got her book removed to the middle school level. It was not appropriate at elementary level. It went to the board, and the board looked at it, and they agreed. They agreed this is appropriate for middle school, and that's what parents need to do. They need to be engaged. We should not just be reading excerpts and making demands. We should follow the process. Parents should be following those challenges, and then we need to simplify it, make it easier. And again, those campus educational committees are key. They need to be functioning and effective.
Same question.
Certainly. So here again, we come back to principle-centered servant leadership. I have great faith in the people of this community. We center up on the truth. I believe if we had workshops to review items like this, including the curriculum planning review committees, we can work our way through this. It's not about process and procedure. As I said earlier, you manage from here, but you lead from here. Okay? Critical race theory. I have studied in depth Robin DiAngelo's book, White Fragility, and Louis Bauman's book, Fault Lines. My son is an adopted black baby boy with a white mother who won the Army Commendation Medal 3 times as a retiree from the MP Corps. And scored 290 and 3 out of 300 on the test, on the PT test. That's due to his mother. We could have cared less. And if you talk to him about I'm his oppressor because I'm white, and he's oppressed because he's black, look out. He wants nothing to do with it. It is a fraud. It is a scientific mistreatment of the data and the facts in Robin DiAngelo's book. Bad books, critical race theory, pronoun. All of those issues stem from an insular board that does not properly involve the community. Principle-centered and serving leadership. Thank you very much.
We can all agree that we don't want inappropriate materials in the curriculum or in the libraries. Oh, man.
Oh, you had it, didn't you?
We can all agree that we don't want inappropriate materials in the library or in the classroom. There's a process, as Serena said, and the process works for library books. There is not inappropriate curriculum in schools. It's illegal to teach whatever Rachel Elliott said is being taught in kindergarten. There's so much misinformation about what's really happening. Again, ask a teacher, ask a student. We are doing great things here in McKinney. And I don't know why we're talking about critical race theory. That's illegal. Governor Abbott passed 2 bills on that. So let's talk about good things. We're doing a lot of good things because we have good leaders in the school board. And I know there's things we can fix and things that we can improve, and we can do that with your help. We want parents to partner with us, not come and yell at us.
Hello, Rachel Elliott, McKinney ISD, place 5. So Stephanie mentioned about a book. Here's the paper book. The digital version's available, K through 5. And if we turn here, we're gonna see positions. I'm sorry, I'm an elementary parent. I don't believe positions should be taught to as young as kindergarten. So I'm gonna read about a policy that Stephanie and Amy signed into on April 10th, 2022. Prior to any material being selected for inclusion, a library material shall have been read, reviewed, and recommended for inclusion by the district level library supervisor or an individual that designated that supervisor. If more support and or resources are needed for this review, the board may improve the engagement of cooperative of other Texas public schools and rely on the recommendations of that cooperation. So here, currently, we have 153 explicit books. Here are 2 current board members. They're not doing their job. It's time to vote now. My name is Rachel Elliott. I'm running for Keep your hands to yourself.
Next
No,
up.
you cannot.
This is not. We're just asking
No, I'm
questions.
not.
Rachel, let's move on, okay? Don't touch. This is stuff. Let's just have a seat. We're gonna get through this. Trust me. Same question. I didn't want to repeat it. What is your position on the ongoing controversy regarding sexually explicit materials in class and in libraries at MISD, and what should be done about it?
It's a very simple answer. No, it should not be in school at all. Age-appropriate content is what I would like to have in schools, and my tax dollars be used to pay for age-appropriate content. We need to quit stealing our kids' innocence. These kids, their innocence is gone. It's just really unfortunate because you can't. This over-sexualization of our children has gone so far that this is another reason why parents are pulling their children out of schools, is because it's gone too far. It needs to stop. There are policies in place. However, those policies probably needs some changing. I have often said I would love to see parent committees in the libraries. Whenever these books come in, have a group of parents go through them, give them a review, let them say yes or no, or hey, this one might be a little questionable, let's pass it on to the librarian, make sure that this isn't, this is age appropriate. We do not need to have this kind of materials in our libraries or, available for our students. Thank you.
We have made a couple of changes to the library reconsideration policy lately. The only thing I'm going to agree with here is that it is difficult to find the form online. I have helped parents do that. I would like you to think back to the fact that we have lost over 500,000 American lives so that we are not Nazi Germany and we do not ban books. If you have an issue with a book, you have an opportunity to read the book and have it reconsidered. Banning books is against the law in the United States of America. What I would like you to realize is about 99% of these
Please let the candidates speak. It's very rude to interrupt them.
Thank you very much, moderator. The vast majority of the votes that people have issues with are in our AP curriculum, and that is set by the college board. If a book comes up for review and it is going to be on an AP test, like the one that Ms. Hendricks read an excerpt out of, that book will go into the teacher's classroom library because we've got to prepare the kids for this test. I mean, it would be unfair to have them take the test and not be prepared. I'd also like to say the bit about speaking for 1 minute instead of 3. I would love it if the state would go back to only letting our taxpayers, only letting our parents speak, but they changed that law.
Yeah, no, keep it light. Get the next question. Give you first. Spangle.
Yes.
If elected, in your case re-elected, how do you plan to control your superintendent, particularly when they tell you that they are the expert on an issue and you are not?
I take exception to the question, control your superintendent. Superintendent has rise to that level of the job because they are an educator and this is their job. Our job as a board is to set policies and procedures and to hire and equip the superintendent to run the district. If necessary, the board also then fires the superintendent. Controlling the superintendent is the wrong way to look at this. I mean, I think that's kind of a ridiculous question. The superintendent is the expert on educational issues. That's why they were hired.
I think we need to have some open conversations, set some goals for the superintendent, and establish that open line of communication. We need to be able to measure those goals and have him set, we need to hold him accountable. That is the board's job, is to hold them accountable. That is really what it is. We need to collaborate with them. We need to, have those open conversations and see how we can work together as a board to make this district the best it can be. Thank you.
Now, Carpenter, would you do me a favor and come join me and sit here? I believe she's already touched my property twice, and I've already asked her. Would you come and join us? Because I believe she's struggling. So let's talk about the superintendent. So we just got a new superintendent. We had a former one, and he had a contract that was renewed in December of 2021 to receive a salary of $365,000 a year. Our governor of the state of Texas receives a salary of $300,000. So we have a brand new superintendent who is now being paid $305,000 a year. One of the first things I want to do when I come and win my seat is I want to come and talk to each of the board members. I want to work with them and see what's going to work, so we can all work together for with the superintendent, because that's our job, to hire and fire the superintendent, and also oversee the district. You know, one of the biggest qualifiers that makes me the best for this seat is I'm a parent. I'm a parent in the district. I'm a parent that is connected with other parents and teachers, and I want to create an excellent McKinney ISD in all of the state of Texas. So, vote for me, Rachel Elliott, McKinney ISD, place 5.
The question was, how would we control the superintendent?
Yeah, the question is, in your case, if reelected, how do you plan to control your superintendent, particularly when they tell you that they are the expert on an issue and you are not?
Again, control is not the right word. There are 7 school board members and a superintendent, that's 8. We function as a team of 8. We work together for the betterment of all students in the district. So, and the superintendent does hire and fire the superintendent. The school board does hire and fire the superintendent. That is our job. So we also approve policy, budget, and things like that. And I lost my train of thought. So the process works. What we do works. Oh, the $300,000 thing. I don't know how many people that have a Fortune 500 company that have 25,000 people they supervise, actually 27 when you have teachers, make $300,000. Well, they make $1 million or more. And our superintendent making $300,000 just run the school district, that's a deal. There are surrounding districts that are smaller that are paying more for their superintendents. You can check that. We have a great superintendent, he's gonna do great things, and we have great incumbents on the school board.
So I'm going to talk to you a little bit now about management and not leadership up here. The way you control anybody who has an assignment is through what we call vision, mission, goals, objectives, and standards for professional interaction. I believe that this superintendent, a third of his pay ought to be at risk based on metrics. If you look in the website of this school district, look at vision and mission, let's just use the word out. If you don't have things you can measure that you want to meet in years ahead as your vision and a mission that incorporates those and enables you to get there, you don't have any control. You don't have any management control. It's not so much about controlling the person as it is about controlling the work. That's how I did it. That's how I learned how to do it. And that's how all my mates as senior managers did. It's simply a matter of agreeing on the tasks at hand and how you're going to measure performance. And by the way, I don't think our superintendents have had any goals or measurables for years. Now, in conjunction with that, I want to connect with that individual and reach wherever else I need to go into this organization, wherever the facts lead me, to create harmony and forward progress to what? Meet our vision with our mission and our goals and objectives. It is not rocket science. Jim Westergaard, place 6, McKinney ISD.
Yes, you know, I'm actually looking forward to working with Mr. Pratt as a board trustee. My husband and I met with Mr. Pratt just a couple years ago during COVID with some serious issues. He listened to our concerns. He offered some advice and solutions and ways that we can work together. When the board works together to set proper policies, procedures in place, they have lots of input from the community, the teachers know they're valued and respected, so much can happen. And as you can see, we need connection, we need collaboration, we need to work together in our community. Our kids are watching, we're absolutely capable. I have unique perspective. I have built a school in the last 2 years, hiring teachers. The homeschool community is a huge community. We supported that community. My kids are in public school. We need strong public schools. We've chosen public school for our children. We have fantastic fine arts programs, dual credit, AP, wonderful, wonderful programs. But it requires, the teachers often tell me, Serena, you are a visionary. You are a visionary. You listen to us. We work together with parents and teachers. When they know they have a voice, they're part of the decisions, everything will change. But that requires leadership. We must have leadership. We must ask the questions, work together, and have leadership.
The let's do the last 90-second question. I'm sure you're all glad about that. And Ms. Ashcroft, you get to go first again. So here you go. If elected, or re-elected, to your cases, if elected, what has to happen for you to consider your term a success?
That's a good question.
Finally asked you.
That's a good question. What has to happen to consider my term a success? When I can step down 4 years, 8 years, and feel like we have stabilized enrollment, we are a premier district, people are coming to us. Think about the explosive growth we've had in McKinney. I've had years of experience in real estate, brought families here. They're looking for a better environment. Is one reason we moved here 10 years ago. I had to raise $100,000 to operate a school where we came from. For a librarian, a fine arts program, a nurse. We had to raise $100,000 when I was the PTO president at the elementary level. We moved to Texas because they value education. We have wonderful families moving here, but once again, they're choosing Founders Academy, they're choosing Corndale, and they're leaving here. We must restore trust. We must have a solid foundational math and language program in an elementary level. We do choose curriculum. The teach says we have to teach this, but we choose a curriculum how that content is delivered. We can write our own curriculum like Prosper is doing for language and reading. We need to do that with our teachers. Strong math and foundation program in the earlier years, get back to classical. Did you know Collin ISD is exploring classical school? This is what parents want, back to the basics. And once parents are coming here and they want to be part of McKinney ISD, that's how I'll know we did a great job.
How will I know that we have all been successful? It's when we meet our targets, when our safety incidents have gone down, when our measures of open records requests have gone down and we now know we're more transparent. When our teachers stop leaving, we lost 400 since the beginning of last year. That's a 23% turnover. I know from my business experience, we start to panic at 5% or 10%. You have got to fix that, and you've got to fix the retention and get these teachers to want to stay. So it's by measuring performance, by getting the superintendent on track, by creating transparency, by managing our money better. I don't like the fact that we fund work at 20% contingency. You can't do that in the business world outside and stay in business. So all those things center up on having a vision and a mission, goals and objectives, and measures of performance for the district, not just the superintendent.
So what line of be successful in 4 years?
Yes, like in your next term, if you're re-elected, what would you consider, what has to happen for you to consider that term a success?
We would continue to add more AP advanced placement classes. We'll have more dual credit classes here at Collin College. That means parents will save a lot of money on college classes. Their kids will have credit, college credit. We will have more certifications. We are going to add a drone class next year. I know kids are excited about that. We will improve our graduation rate, because at 1 year it was 98.6%. We will continue to strive to improve our graduation rate. We will have teachers that will flock to be to McKinney. You know, there was a pandemic. Teachers are leaving nationwide. It's a crisis. It's not just here in McKinney. Again, we have the highest teacher retention rate in Collin County. Teachers want to be here. They graduate from the higher high schools and they want to be here. And we will continue to have smart students, great teachers, great leaders, and we will continue to be an excellent district that people look to and brag about.
Good evening. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys could be anywhere else, but you guys are here to care about the community. And that's what I want. I want more community, more parents, and taking care of our teachers. For an example, my daughter's 5th grade class. Last year, they had 4 teachers. 4 teachers. They dropped down to 3 teachers because they couldn't hire a 4th. It wasn't there. And now one of them is out on paternity leave, and they couldn't get a substitute. So now they have only 2 teachers for the entire 5th grade class for an entire school. She has 42 kids in one class. We've got to take care of our teachers. We've got to take care of our students, and we have to take care of our schools. That's what I will find in success after my 4 years. Because you know what? Kids, our schools, our community, it matters.
The number one thing I'd be proud of is if we could get back to an A-rated district. The B-rated district is a problem. We have 62% of our students are at that meets grade level. 62%. I want to see that go up. I want to see that our 8th grade math students can master math and at a higher rate than 13% across the board. Academics needs to be our focus, and we need to educate these kids so that they're career, college, military ready. Life skills would be great. We need to bring back critical thinking and just get back on track with the basics. Our kids deserve the best education that they could possibly receive in McKinney ISD, and so I've strived for academic excellence, bringing it back to an A and keeping it there, maintaining it there, talking to the teachers, collaborating with the A elementary, the schools that are at an A and the schools that are at a C, collaborate with them, find out what they're doing at the A-rated district that we're not doing at the C-rated district, instead of just blaming it on the free lunch children. Because that's what my opponent is doing. She's blaming it on the kids that have free lunch. That's why we are a B-rated district. That is absolutely absurd, and that has to stop. Every child can learn. We just need to focus on that.
I am consciously choosing not to correct what people are saying wrong, and instead I'm going to tell you what I would consider a success. When we moved to McKinney, McKinney was the only school district in North Texas that had all-day kindergarten. They have always valued early childhood education. I think it's time for us to bring in pre-K. I think the state should pay for pre-K, especially with the way inflation is. Working families need help with this. I think that would be a great thing, and I would consider that a success. Right after I got on the board, there was another board member who was a retired Navy guy, and he and I worked together to get the JROTC at McKinney High School. I think that is such a successful program. It is expensive, but I would like another branch of the military at North High School, because we have room at that high school. That's the high school that when we renovated, we have made it so the wall can come down to one end and we can add another wing. I think I would consider that a success. I would also like to see us become a people where, instead of judging little children who have only been alive for 6, 7, 8 years on a standardized test, we use our standardized test to tell the teacher, the student, and the parent what that child needs to learn next. It's absolutely ridiculous that we are judging entire schools and entire school districts on standardized tests that little children are taking.
We're going to learn about your track and field skills. You're just going to have to pass the microphone
We're
quickly.
both from Louisiana, we can pass.
You can pass the baton rouge. Okay. All right. So these are the famous, infamous lightning questions. I have 146 of them. But Derek told me I can only ask 15. So I encourage the audience to pay close attention to the answers to these questions, because they can be super revealing. So we're just going to go this way, this way, this way, this way.
All right,
okay?
we just are sharing one mic.
That's perfect.
It's like swimming.
All right, ready? Do you support the right of teachers to voluntarily be armed and trained at school?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm trying to give you guys some time back, so let's hope you applause till the end. Again, yes, no, or pass. You can pass. Just no further explanation. Will you oppose any budget that is more than 2.5% annual increase, which is the state trigger for a local election? Will you oppose any budget that is more than a 2.5% annual increase, which is the state trigger for a local election?
Yes.
Yes.
Pass.
Yes.
Yes. Pass.
Do you believe more funding necessarily results in better educational performance?
Yes. No.
No.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
That's
No.
not a yes, no, or a pass. I'm listening. Do you believe that school bonds should be broken up into grouped categories similar to the way city bonds are divided up?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Do you believe that merit pay for teachers will result in retaining more good teachers?
No. Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to pass.
Should MISD hire an external auditor to ensure reporting of accurate financial data and expenditures to citizens?
Yes.
Yes.
We do that.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Ready? Should MISD remain in TASB?
Yes. No.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
Should ISD races, yours, move from nonpartisan to partisan, knowing that HB 221 is being considered in committee right now?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Will you answer for me, with respect to we're not talking? No.
Okay. Okay, should the ISD be able to spend school tax funds to lobby the legislature?
No.
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 Are you the most qualified candidate in your race?
Yes.
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 I am the new Barbara Walters. Here's the question that leads up to. Is your opponent qualified for this position? Is your opponent qualified for the position that she's running for?
No.
She's retired.
That's not, yes, no.
No.
This is ridiculous. And no and no.
No. No.
I'm going to pass.
Okay, we are now going to let each of the candidates do a 90-second wrap-up and say whatever they want. Again, we have Sheriff's deputies here, so say almost anything you want. We'll start with you, Ms. Ashcroft. Yes.
Thank you so much for coming tonight, for everybody that's been participating tonight. Running a campaign is not easy. It's grueling work. We would not be doing this. I would not be doing this if I did not have a desire to serve. If I've not been serving our students, our teachers, our families for years. I've pushed aside my real estate career the last couple of years and have been working on solutions for our education troubles for the last several years. I feel I'm the most qualified. I have children in McKinney ISD, at McKinney Boyd High School. I see what's going on. I see what they're going through in the district. I see and I work with teachers. I work with students every week. I teach Texas history twice a week to a group of fantastic students. I want to see improvements in our district, more recess time for our students, more opportunities for field trips. I see solutions These are workable things we can do. Unfortunately, we've had so much division for the last couple years. We need leadership, we need solutions, we need somebody who can connect and bring people together. If we go down this path that we're continuing on, we will see continued declining enrollment. We will continue to see more teachers leave. Change is needed, and I feel most people feel like that change needs to happen, but we need the right change to bring leadership on our school district. I've got experience in actually, thank you
Say
so
your
much.
name.
Serena Ashcraft, running for McKinney ISD School Board Service 6 at large.
So folks, I've got over 4 decades of management leadership experience up to senior management in 3 industry sectors. I've worked overseas, I've put teams together, and I've reconciled significant conflict in teams. Go on my website and look at Carrie McHale-Reed, CEO of Carrie McHale-Reed Associates, and let her tell you how I deal with people and people problems. We have fundamentally lost 400 teachers. We don't have a good safety management program. We don't have a handle on our costs. We have a $253 million budget, $150 million, 60% of that is in instructional services, $24 million in maintenance. Part of my career was cutting maintenance costs and tuning up maintenance organizations, and I can tell you there's softness in that entire budget. We have to do it on a zero-based basis. We have to improve the curriculum by involving all you folks. As a principal servant leader, I will listen to you, I will hear you, and I will incorporate your good ideas in us moving forward. All of these problems you've heard tonight, in my humble opinion, stem from that one thing: lack of transparency, lack of inclusion, lack of listening and hearing to the people. Gentlemen, please sit down.
My name is Stephanie Odell, and I had 2 daughters go to all 3 McKinney schools. The oldest graduated from A&M, and she did well, and that's where I went to school. The youngest is graduating next month, no more college payments, and she's graduating summa cum laude. Yes, I'm bragging, but McKinney schools prepared my girls, and many of your children, for the future, for the world. And so, we have great schools here, and people keep saying we don't, but we do. I am ethical, I am honest, everything I have said has been true. You may not agree with it, and that's okay. But what I have said has been true. And if you have a question, please ask me. You can email me, or you can message me on Facebook, and maybe I'll see it. I'm doing this for our kids, our children, and our community. We don't get paid, and I'm spending this campaigning, whoa. So, as security is the #1 concern. We have a security team, we have 1,500 security cameras. We are on top of security. Stephanie Odell.
My name is Rachel Elliott. I'm running from McKinney ISD Place 5. I'm talking about facts. Facts. Black and white facts. No lies here. B-rated school district is what we're dealing with right now. We've got to take care of that. You know, I am actually the first woman in my family to get a 4-year degree. I proudly say that. My brother has a bachelor's, 3 masters, and a doctorate. My dad has 3 masters and a doctorate, and one of his masters is from Princeton, from Ivy League. I want Ivy Leagues to look at our McKinney ISD. I want more for our schools. I want more for our kids. I want more for our community. We have got to collaborate. We've got to listen to the community. We've got to take care of our kids. Our kids are the next generation. We've got to take care of them. Thank you. Vote for me, Rachel Elliott, Place 5, McKinney ISD.
I want to clear up a little bit during my closing statements. My opponent has constantly said that I have a lawsuit against SROs. I don't have any factual allegations against any SRO or any police officer in this lawsuit. Mine are against her in her own capacity. I have a First Amendment lawsuit against her because my rights were taken at a meeting. That is what's going on with that. I don't have any factual allegations against any police officers. I back the blue. I have many people in my family that are definitely police officers. I have a lot of friends that are police officers, and so I just want to clear the air on that because apparently that's been going around quite a bit. We have 23,000 children in this district, plus 23,000 plus children in this district that need us, that need our voices. They need us to protect them. They need us to stand up for them. They